All right, remember Susan Polk? Now, that's the woman accused of stabbing her husband to death. And the bizarre twist when her trial came to a screeching halt after her lawyer's wife was found bludgeoned to death. Well, ever-dedicated attorney Daniel Horowitz decided to stay on the case. But could his client be getting a little testy about a new start date? Ivan Golde is one of Susan Polk's attorneys. Former prosecutor Stephen Clark is a friend of Daniel Horowitz. Both of them attended today's hearing. Ivan, first, how's Dan doing?
Dan's doing just fine. He's a fighter. We're ready to go. We were in court today. We're ready to defend Susan Polk and prove her innocence.
All right, Ivan, I understand Susan filed a motion for new trial. I mean, not a motion for new trial, listen to me. A motion for speedy trial. And of course, that requires a trial date within 60 days. Now, the judge gave you one within 60 days of the hearing, which was today, but Susan was still upset. Why?
Well, Susan's upset. She wants her trial as soon as possible. She has been in custody now for several years. She wants to get into court and get this trial underway. Remember, there was a mistrial already. The trial is scheduled for January 31st. That is when the trial will begin.
Now, are you going to appeal the judge's ruling as a violation of the Speedy Trial Act, or is Susan satisfied with the 31st now?
No, we are going to take a writ on the matter. However, we must be prepared for the judge's order, that being January 31st. We are free to take a writ. We will do so. The law is in our favor. However, the judge has ruled. We must honor that ruling and prepare to go forward.
Okay, what day was the motion for speedy trial filed, actually filed with the court?
Susan pulled her time waiver. She invoked her time waiver, her 60-day speedy trial right, on November 1st through a written motion with the court. However, the transcript said that they claimed that she agreed, Susan Polk agreed, to a 60-day time waiver, 60-day date outside of January 5th. That's in the transcript. That's what the judge relied on. She called it a limited waiver, the custom of Contra Costa County. The judge ruled, we're right. Susan Polk is right. It's a general waiver. It's clear. We can't worry about that. The trial will start January 31st, and we will prove Susan Polk's innocence.
Okay, well, the judge went through several things, talking about the amount of publicity, and was that a concern, making sure that Dan could go forward, of course, the trial date, some conflicts of interest between those that investigated Pam Vitale's murder and those that investigated the Polk case. Are you confident that any potential conflicts are not important enough to require other counsel in the case or further delays?
Well, Catherine, that was the real central issue of today's court hearing, that being the conflicts, the potential conflicts, not so much the time waiver. We couldn't even get to the time waiver without solving the conflict issue. The judge is very concerned. The district attorney is concerned. That's the judge's job. That's the judge's discretion to make sure there's a fair trial. There's no possibility of any reversal to clear up the potential conflicts. If there are any, we do not feel that there are. Susan Polk wants Daniel Horowitz and myself to continue as her lawyers. We will be. She has waived those conflicts. There is another court hearing on December 20th. We will flesh those issues out further. We are ready to go. Okay. The judge just has she has to do her job, make sure there are no conflicts.
All right, well, Stephen, I'm going to ask you questions.